Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jared with MetalsPeak.com. I'm here tonight to talk about the newest release from New York Thrasher's Indestructible Noise Command. If you haven't heard of Indestructible Noise Command, don't worry about it. They were around back in the 80s and early 90s. They toured with bands like Megadeth and Pantera before disbanding in 1990 due to personality conflicts within the band and also some conflicts with their record label. They got together about a year ago and decided to start making music again. And the end result is their newest release called Heaven Sent Hellbound. You can find that in stores tomorrow. So check your local music stores. Also check iTunes, Amazon, eMusic, or any other reputable download service, and I'm sure they'll have it available to you. And make sure you pick it up because it's a really good album. We'll go ahead and jump into the categories here first. First category is Brutality, of course. This one I gave it an 8. This is definitely a thrash album. It's definitely got some fast parts to it. It's got some slower parts to it. So that's what really kind of has me dialing back on the Brutality end of things. There's really a groove aspect to this, so you're going to hear some influences in there, like Down and Crowbar, in addition to the standard issue, Exodus, Slayer type thrash. So very diverse sound, very varied in the tempo and the pace of some of the songs. A lot of the songs have kind of a slower build up, but then it kind of goes into a more frenetic pace, which is nice. So, but that's what really kind of keeps me from issuing a full 10 on the Brutality side is just that whole thing of some of the slower parts on the album. But that doesn't mean it's not a face melter. There are songs on there like God Loves Violence. If you remember from a couple weeks ago, a couple shows ago, that we previewed that track and we all were suitably impressed by it. Then there's also tracks like Full Metal Jacket and the album's closer, Fueled by Regret, which just fire on all cylinders and just lay to waste everything in their path. So all awesome songs. As far as songwriting goes, again, gave it an 8. Thrash is kind of a tough genre when you're looking at songwriting. The music's not going to be the most technical, but where these guys really shine is, again, on some of those kind of groovier licks they have going on. It's definitely a cool feel, very southern fried feel, if you will. The best song on there, I think, and probably they've just filmed a video for it here recently. It's called Swallow. It has this really cool kind of groovy build up for about a minute and a half before it actually kicks off into just this smoking thrash, and it's just awesome. So, again, it takes a little patience to get through the slower parts to get to the faster parts and the stuff that's really going to make you want to headbang, but it's totally worth it. So, but yeah, the song structures are great, great riffs, great rhythm patterns and arrangements. So I really enjoy it. I'm only giving it an 8 just because it's not the most technical. Like I said, thrash tends to be kind of on the simplistic side from a songwriting standpoint. Some lyrical themes that are pretty kind of standard issues. So that's what's going to keep me from giving it a full 10. But that doesn't mean it's a bad album. It's actually an awesome album. So. Uh, Production wise, give it a 10 out of 10. If you guys are familiar with Frederick Nordstrom, he did a lot of work with In Flames and some of the bigger melodic death metal acts of the day. And this thing actually just sounds phenomenal. The drums are tight as hell, the vocals sound great. The guitars are really far forward in the mix, but not so overstated that they're annoying. I got some great 808 drops that hit on a couple of the songs that really kind of throb out of the speakers. So very professional sounding, very clean. Just I love how this thing sounds. Repeat listenability. Again, give this an 8. This is a really good CD, but I can't see myself listening to it over and over and over. Again, maybe it's just because I have a short attention span, like I imagine a lot of metalheads do. Most of the songs are pushing the 3 to 4, sometimes a 6 minute mark. So you know, it's kind of a struggle to get through some of them. I think when you have some songs in there that are faster and kind of really get you pumping, and then you have others that kind of slow down and kind of pull back the throttle. So I can see where that can be a little off-putting for some people, and might not have them going back and have them going back to it as often as they would, depending on what their mood is, what they're feeling like listening to. But overall, I can see myself going back to this one a lot when I need some good driving music because that's really what it's for. So, as far as the artwork and layout goes, give this a 10 out of 10. We actually got a digital press kit on this one, so I don't actually have the physical copy, but we'll post some pictures up. The tray We've got the cover. It's got this really cool kind of lyrical theme going on with speakers, where they've got guns with megaphones in the end, speakers coming out of bombs and tanks and stuff like that. So very very blatant militaristic kind of postmodern post-apocalyptic feel to it. So very very cool to look at. So definitely give that a 10. You guys like my Rain Man impression? So yeah, overall, giving this an 8.8 out of 10. This is definitely a great thrash album. Definitely a fitting comeback for obvious veterans of the scene. And really looking forward to seeing these guys as they come out on the road, because from what we've heard in our interview with Eric the other day, it's going to be a blast and lots of fun. So make sure you get out and check out this album, and we'll talk to you guys later.